when we hear about a hack or when we hear about potential issues coming our way. I think of the scene in Jurassic Park where the Velociraptors are testing the electric fence for an area where the electricity's gone out, and they know, even though they're dinosaurs, that they can now get through that fence because they
Yeah.
electrified that part is. So I always think of the Velociraptors, and I think of these hackers as the Velociraptors, right? They're
Mhm.
constantly looking for that one weak
Weak point.
opening that's
Yeah.
exposed, right? That they can get into and steal all of our stuff.
Yeah.
So is that what you're kind of doing, trying to patch these
Correct.
areas so the Velociraptors can't get through the fence?
Correct. Is my job. See, I'm not. I'm a technical person, so I can't speak your language. You described it very nicely. That's what I'm actually doing. Actually, the hackers, they try to find the weak point, and our job is to make sure we don't have too many weak points. As I always said this to my team, we can't be 100% sure that we can protect everything. That's okay. Our job is to minimize that impact. Our job is to find the weak points before the hackers do and try to patch them or just fix them. If we get hit by the attackers through that weak point, obviously we will know. Our main concern is we should able to detect that attack as soon as possible.
Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast. And my awesome guest, who's going to totally straighten me out on all this AI stuff, is Bhaskar Swant. Hello, Bhaskar.
Thank you, Gary. Really excited and looking forward to this podcast.
Bhaskar is an AI architect and cybersecurity innovator who spent over 15 years building, breaking, and securing enterprise systems. So he's going to take us deep in the AI world. Can't wait to dig in. I'm super excited about this. But because we're the What If You Could podcast, I always open up, ask my guests, Mr. Bhaskar, what is your What If You Could?
Okay, that's a very nice question. Okay. So, what if I could build a system that doesn't just react to the problem, but actually learn and protect themselves? Early in my career, I have spent a lot of time fixing the issues after something broke. Production incidents, security alerts, data fatigue. It made me realize that most organizations spend too much time fighting fires, not enough time preventing them. So I started asking myself, what if we could design a technology that watches, learn, and adapt in a real time? What if the security systems could spot abnormal behavior before the damage is done? What if small teams could have enterprise level protection without massive budgets? And that question has shaped much of my work, combining the software engineering, AI, and security to build the smarter, adaptive, and more trustworthy systems. And that's what I am excited to talk about today.
From what I understand, and I am now an expert because I got an iPad. Everyone knows I got an iPad, and it came with Gemini. So Gemini is now my best friend. My wife's a
Mhm.
little nervous. She's a Gemini also, so we kind of get along. But I love AI.
Yeah.
But from what I hear and people talking about, I think people's concerns about AI is that it kind of is its own creature. So are you talking about a system that is functioning? It spots when things are coming after it or going wrong. It self-fixes itself so that you're not running into these head things and now having a big problem.
Yeah. So, um, actually, what are the biggest misconception about the AI and cybersecurity? Is like people think AI is a magic box, and that will solve everything. Uh, it is not a magic box. It is, and the another misconception people have about the AI is it's gonna do everything for them. It's kind of if you put the AI on top of everything, it will handle everything. It's not going to happen that way. AI is as good as a data processes and the governance behind it. If you feed the good data to the AI, then only it will help you to solve your issues. And another misconception normally people think of or talk about is AI is going to replace the human or the security teams. It's not going to happen. In reality, AI will empower them and it removes the noise. So basically, what happened currently in most organizations is they have the alert system. They got all kind of alerts when anything goes wrong. You know, not even like the warning alerts and everything. So there is so much noise. AI can help you to reduce that noise. It can help you to process the large amount of data, and it can help you to actually reduce that noise and get the alerts only when you actually need to react on that instead of giving alert for everything. That's two misconception about the AI, and I think those are just the misconceptions.
So is it still like the old days when we talked about computers and back in the,
Right.
early days
Yeah.
when we said computers are basically garbage in, garbage out. What you put in is what you get out. So is AI just like a more advanced version of garbage in, garbage out?
You can say it like that, but yeah, your first point, when the new computers are come into the market, everything was worried about they're gonna replace everything, and people are worried about their jobs and everything. But over the period of time, we understood once the computers come into our lives, it improves the human life, right? The way we started thinking about everything, everything changed. And it helps the human or the people or the organizations to grow even faster and more reliable and, performance wise, more secure.
Going back to the garbage in, garbage out thing, there, I'm an expert on Gemini now because I've had it like 2 weeks, so I'm really good. My son is crazy about the chat GPT or
Chat
chat
GPT.
PT, whatever.
Yeah.
Loves it. Won't brush his teeth without checking first with chat. My other friend, she's addicted to Gronk. Like she talks to it. It says, "Hey, how are you? Good morning." They're like friends. It's really bizarre. So there's Gronk, there's Chat, there's Gemini, there's others. So, and from what
Proximity.
I've heard is if you ask each one of the platforms a different question,
Mhm.
you'll get randomly different answers based on who's running that AI. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's as I said, when people think about the AI, you are expecting AI will give you the same answer every time you ask the same question. It's not going to happen. We need to think. We need to think and learn about how AI actually works. So basically, ChatGTP, Gemini, or the Promaximity, they have a different algorithm on the background. They are different companies. They are different organizations, and the way the algorithm, everybody has a different algorithm. The way AI works is like AI, as I said, AI is behaving depending on what kind of a data it we are feeding into the machine, right? For the Gemini, for the Chat GTP, they are two different organizations. They have their own database data centers, and the amount of data what is feed to that Chat GTP or Gemini from the backside is different. That's why you will get the different answer for same question on a different platform. And the thing about the AI, if you ask the same question today and just do your work with the chat GTP. And if you ask the same question tomorrow to the chat GTP or the Gemini, you will get a different answer. Because as I said, AI always learns, AI improves himself depending on the what data you feed throughout that day. And he learn and he more improvise on the answer. And the second day you will get the different answer. I can give you that guarantee. You will not get means most of the time. You will get the different answer on a different days for the same question. It all depends
It's
on the what
fast.
data you are feeding into the system.
It's fascinating what you said about the data centers because that seems to be power is a massive challenge and data centers are a massive challenge. So it's bizarre to me that these companies would create their own data centers because they're so massive and they're so energy intensive. So if you have 4 or 5 different AI companies, all with their own power needs and their own data centers, it seems like I don't know, it seems like it would make sense to have one data center for everyone to I mean, let me on the internet, the regular internet, right?
Mhm.
And you go to get something from information. Is there one, or still it's they all have their own? Google has their own, and Microsoft has its own. They still have their own data centers, even for regular searches.
Yes, they do have a different data centers, but they are interconnected. They communicate with each
Mm.
other. But as I said, every organization keep something for themselves. Otherwise, you why will you choose between the Chat GTP or Gemini? You will go with single and you will get the. It's kind of you have a same different brand of the same product on the aisle, right? Even though the main ingredient is the same, like a cereal, main ingredient is the same: sugar, wheat, flour, everything is the same, but still they have their own recipes. Here, when we talk about the AI, the recipe is nothing but the algorithms. Even though data is same, like they are interconnected, they have their own database centers, but they are interconnected, they are communicating with each other, but still algorithm is a recipe, that makes the difference.
It's interesting how I find that Gemini constantly affirms me. Like, dude, that was a great question. You're really smart. And here's an answer. And when I do a follow-up, many times I say, no, 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 no. I don't want you to affirm me. I want you to challenge my questions, and
Mhm.
I want an honest answer. And then come by with, "Oh, you'd like an honest answer." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I'm here, right?" But it's interesting how it starts learning.
Right.
That's the weirdest thing about it for me. It starts like knowing me and
Yeah.
knowing what my thought processes are, and then by affirming me makes it easier to convince me what they're saying is correct.
Yeah, I mean, actually, one of my friend told me last week, is he's going through some difficult time and he's going to the psychiatrist. So what he told me, like when I try to do the same question answer session with the Chat GTP, it feels like I'm talking with an actual human. That's something which AI is achieved in people's lives now. Means when we are talking with the AI. So basically, Google is a kind of a AI. When in old days we try to ask the question, but it's never get we never get the feeling that we are communicating with anybody. But with the Chat GTP, Gemini, we are they gave us the feeling that we are actually talking with a person. The way the main thing is you can interpret how you want them to react. As you said, like when you said the Gemini, don't talk to like just, I don't want, I just want the human interaction, right? So
Right.
it's amazing thing, right, what AI is achieving.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I want to get into what you do about the cybersecurity and the things that you do, but you mentioned government, so I just kind of want to touch on that, and we'll take a deep dive into your stuff. Um, why doesn't the government control AI, or are they going to start taking over the AI? Because it seems like it's dangerous for a bunch of different companies to have this sort of power. Different countries, China, Russia, India, United States, having such power and control over what people are doing. It's accessing so much information about individuals, not that they don't already have it, but what is your take on government intervention with AI, and what do you think it's better for some sort of government control, or does it just have to be the Wild West?
This is a very controversial question for me, but I'm a software engineer, and I always support communicate what you actually think. you know that kind of person I am. And when we have the internet first time, government is that time we don't have the amount of scrutiny what we have nowadays. So answer to your question, yes, in future government is definitely have some kind of a limitation or scrutiny or some fireworks on the how people will use the AI in future. Yes, right now they don't have that kind of a control, but I think government will do the same thing what they did with the internet in future.
I I'm gonna go I'm gonna dig into you, but I just and it might not be in your scope. So if it's not in your scope, say I don't have a clue. Um, the power. It seems like with these guys like Microsoft buying 3 Mile Island, an old nuclear
Mhm.
plant, and getting into nuclear, building little nuclear sites for there. I mean, is that could that be the end of AI? I mean, could AI just die out because the world just doesn't have enough power to run it as it expands?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, so, the amazing thing with the AI, you can run the AI within your organization with a small server. It, as I said, it's AI is all about the algorithm and the data. Okay, and it doesn't depending on the data center. You can have you can build your own algorithm. You can give on a small computer. That's possible. It's not that difficult, you know. But obviously, you will get the amount of results you will get is also limited. AI is not depending on the actual physical data structures or data centers. It all depends on the amount of data and what algorithm you are processing with that data. It all depends on that. I don't think so. It's gonna make too much difference physically.
Awesome. Interesting. Okay, so let's dig into being an AI architect and a cyber security innovator.
Mhm.
Um, security is on everybody's mind about this. I mean, I worry about it every time I ask it a personal question, like, right, I'm having it analyze all my vitamin supplements to see, am I wasting money? Or are these intertwined? Should I get rid of one and add another? So, and then I think to myself, well, I'm giving it a lot of personal health information, but is there such a thing as security? I mean, are we really secure at this point, or is this the horse out of the barn?
Yeah, means when you are, you have your phone in your hand. The security is a broad term, and it all depends on how you think about it. Um, and with everything on the internet, it's very hard to actually say I'm safe or secured. All my data is safe and secure right now. Of course, you can have your own ways, and that's what I'm actually working on. How we can secure using the artificial intelligence. How can we secure our data, and how we can uh, how can I say that? AI is actually changing the cybersecurity. So basically, from reactive mode to the proactive mode. As I said in earlier, when I start this podcast, initially when I started my career, I feel like we always reacting to the problem instead of finding a way to proactively act on that. We don't want that problem in the first place. When we have that problem, we have the reactive model, not the proactive one. So earlier security teams waited for alerts, or and then they investigate the incidents. Now AI can analyze the huge volume of logs, network activity, user behaviors in real time, and spot the pattern that human definitely going to miss. And it helps us to move from responding to the attacks to anticipating and preventing them. It's like going from the CCTV cameras to the smart security guards who notice unusual behavior instantly. Because today's threats move too fast for human alone. We can't catch everything only with a human interface interaction. So we need AI. AI will help us to analyze the massive amount of data, spot unusual behaviors, and reduce the noise. So security teams can focus on the real risk. It's about helping the humans, not replacing them.
When you talk about cybersecurity, for what you're doing, are you building platforms for corporations? Are you building platforms for the AI innovators? Are you building them for people to have on their systems? What are you doing with your business with the cybersecurity?
Okay, so what I'm currently working on. So basically, right now I work on a large scale enterprise platform where the data, automation, and the security comes together. A big part of my focus is to making the system more observable, more adaptive, and easier to protect using the intelligent automation. And one of the main focus I have, because we are transforming our server, and the main focus right now currently I'm working is to reduce the noise. As I said earlier, we have so many alerts, so many warning alerts, and these important alerts like the security alerts get lost because of these. Like initially, like last year we have around 500 alerts every day. We able to reduce that noise, and now we have only 10 alerts per day. That's what we achieved. And those 10 alerts are the actual alerts where we actually need to react. So that's what I'm working currently. But my main goal going forward is going to be like automate our existing system to and make it make it make it more proactive than reactive, and make the system able to learn itself. It
So
should not be
you,
dependent
you
on
s-
our interactions, human interactions.
so you're saying we went from like 500-ish, around 500 alerts a day to down to like 10 alerts a day. Who
Right.
gets these alerts? What are these alerts for?
So basically, means I can give you example of what we were doing. So basically, we have websites for our organizations, and some of them are intranet and some of them are alternate. So every time the server goes down because of some patchwork, or server goes down because of some database problem. So every time server goes down, we get the alerts, and we security team. We are the security team. We don't need the alert for the database down server, right? We don't work on that. We need alerts only when anything, any external or unwanted people try to access our data. Only that kind of alert we are more care about, not for the database down or those so we just try to reduce the noise by actually sending the correct alerts to the correct teams. We are the security teams, so we need alerts only when there is some security concern with our websites. That's what we did.
And I'm sorry to sound so kindergarten level thinking, but that's what I am. And I appreciate that you're an expert on this. So if I ask a really stupid question, just say, dude,
No
that's a
question is
stupid
stupid.
question.
No question is stupid. No, no.
But that brings up another thought for me is I think a lot of people in the United States, I was one of them, for the longest time thought there was like one electric company, right? Like we had these electric wires that ran and they were all interconnected and it was all one system. And then with all these blackouts, we learned no, like California has like 200 different individual electric companies that don't talk to each other and don't work the same wires. And then that goes through the whole country. So it's just this whole kibosh of stupidness instead of having one nationwide electric system. It's so antiquated, it's going to bust any minute now. So when you're talking about these cyber centers, do each of these companies, the Googles, the chats, or whatever, all these different individuals, do they have their own cyber system security centers, or is there one global place when shit really hits the fan, that one main place alerts everybody? Or do they all have their own little unconnected security centers?
Yeah, means they have their own cybersecurity teams, their own setup for the cybersecurities. They communicate with each other, but they are not connected. They have, as I said, every company try to means if I develop something for my company, of course my company want to keep it for themselves. They will guide the other company. They will give some information of that company, whatever we achieved, but not the entire thing, right? Every company wants to keep their own discoveries to themselves. Yes, answer to your questions. As Amazon or the Google, they have their own data centers. They have their own cybersecurity teams, and they have their own teams to handle everything. They communicate with each other, but of course, they have their own things.
It just seems to me that have you ever seen the movie Jurassic Park? Remember the
Yep.
movie Jurassic Park?
We
Every time I right, it's a great movie. All of them are great, but every time I think about when we hear about a hack or when we hear about potential issues coming our way, I think of the scene in Jurassic Park where the Velociraptors are testing the electric fence for an area where the electricity's gone out, and they know, even though they're dinosaurs, that they can now get through that fence because the
Right.
electrified that part is. So I always think of the Velociraptors, and I think of these hackers as the Velociraptors, right? They're
Correct.
constantly looking for that one weak
Weak point.
opening that's
Yeah.
exposed, right? That they can get into and steal all of our stuff.
Right.
So is that what you're kind of doing, trying to patch these
Correct.
areas so the Velociraptors can't get through the fence?
Correct. That's exactly is my job. See, I'm a technical person, so I can't speak your language. You described it very nicely. That's what I'm actually doing. Actually, the hackers, they try to find the weak point, and our job is to make sure we don't have too many weak points. As I always said this to my team, we can't we can't be 100% sure that we can protect everything. That's okay. We Our job is to minimize that impact. Our job is to find the weak points before the hackers do, and try to patch them or try to get away, uh, you know uh, just fix them. If we get hit by the attackers through that weak point, obviously we will know. Our main thing about that's what I'm working on as well. If we get hit by any attackers, of course, through any weak point, our main concern is we should able to detect that attack as soon as possible. So our existing system in previous years, we had one incident which took us almost 7 days to actually found out that we got hit by something, and after that, it took almost 2 weeks to actually analyze the impact because of whatever happened, that attack. So it took us almost a month to actually fix that issue, that weak point. So our current existing team is working on how to reduce that impact after we got hit. And we have achieved, like, we now we can able to find out if anybody hit our website with any unwanted data or so we should be able to find it out within hours, within hour or 2 hour. That's our main goal right now. That's what I'm working on right now. And after that, after we got the detected, like we detect the threat, we have to fix that threat within a day or less than 6 or 7 hours. That's our main goal we are working on right now. So answer to your questions, that what exactly whatever you said, that's our job. And upon that also, once we got hit, we have to find out that we got hit, and we have to fix that issue.
So it's just like this massive cat and mouse game. You've got the
Right.
hackers who, for some reason, I mean, I don't know why people want to be hackers, whatever. I guess there's a lot of money in it. Otherwise, why would they do it? Or just
And too
someone
much
sitting at
knowledge.
home.
Too much
It,
knowledge. These people, the hacker guys, they have too much knowledge about things. I don't know why they put their efforts there instead of maybe they have more money maybe.
I think it's just like I always picture some guy who, like, all the girls picked on him. He never had a date and he got beat up in school. And he sits in his mom's basement, right? And he's all pissed off at the world. And he's
With
just
a hoodie,
brilliant. right? He's got a hoodie. He's eating he's eating hot pockets and drinking monster drinks all day, and he's just like going after it. And he's like, I'm just gonna get everybody because I'm pissed off, right? Or he's just really brilliant and he's bored and he's like challenging himself, like, my mission is to outsmart all those guys to show that I'm smarter than them, right? But so it's like this massive
I think
cat and
that's
mouse.
the part. I think that's the part because every time I also start working on something, it get me excited. I keep doing it, you know. So maybe the hackers, there's their motivation. They maybe get excited or they want to prove themselves with through, you know, maybe that's the motivation.
It's funny because I'm a real estate broker by trade. I just do this because I love to meet fascinating people like you. But I'll
Mhm.
meet like a realtor who is like always does stuff on the edge of the law. It's like they're always doing shady stuff and they're brilliant. I'm like, dude, if you just went straight, you'd make so much money and be so successful, but you're always just like pushing the envelope on the edge of stuff. And I sometimes think they're just bored. It's like too easy for them to do it, right? Legit. So it's like they have to get their juice by doing it other ways. But so you're in this massive cat and mouse game.
You know
You've
that
got the,
show, Better Call Saul? Maybe you remember the dialogue Saul said,
yeah,
maybe this is the way I build. Maybe this is the way they build.
it's just the way I do it, man. But so you've got the dude in the hoodie in his mom's basement, right? And he's going after it. And you've got the cyber team on the other side. And somehow this guy gets a worm in there. You don't know how he does it. He just finds that weak spot like the Velociraptor. He gets that worm in there. And all of a sudden you guys are like, holy cow, we've got a virus. We've got whatever it is. So we've got to go in there and kill it. How do you do that? How do you find it? How do you track it down? How do you get it out of there so you could fix, patch whatever the damage is?
Yeah, so basically, it's very technical question. I don't want to get into deeper level on that, but basically,
No.
whenever we think we got hit, the first thing we're gonna do we do is like we just shut down that part of the website or that part of the that particular part of the web application and try to fix that issue. Believe me, this it's most of the time uh, it's very small things we need to do to fix the issue. Very small things we need to do to fix the issue. It's very rare that we have to take the whole website down because of something. Those are mostly the small things. But answer to your question, we try to actually block that particular part, fix it, and then make it open again.
Amazon is an interesting creature because I think most people believe that their money comes from, selling books and supplements through Amazon. But I think the real money in Amazon is their AWS systems, right? How
Yeah,
they run things for the companies. That's like
yeah,
massive part of Amazon, right?
yeah.
Who else has, I would imagine Walmart must have
Google
some
has it.
insane,
Google has
yeah.
it. Actually,
uh,
when we discuss among our friends what is the future of the IT information technology. So I started my career as a software engineer. I'm still working on that. Means I'm still write the code. It's not like I stopped write code because that's my first love. So when I started working I'm a C sharp and a .NET developer when I started my career. I'm still working on that. But we always discuss about this. Every language, everything has a certain amount of life, you know. Every website we create, after 6 7 years, either we have to upgrade our website or we have to just shut it down and create a new one. Every website, every language, they have a life cycle of life limit, you know. But the data, right now in current world, data is everything. If you own the data, that's the power lies. So these companies like the Google, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they realized that very early, and they started building those big data centers. And you know the popularity of the Azure and the AWS right now. Everybody's using it. Our organization also using it because it's not budget friendly to create your own data center. My organization, they don't they are not IT organization. They are more like a real retail people. They can't afford to create their own data center. So these people, the Amazon, Google, they identified this problem very early, and they started creating this massive data structure. And now what they are doing is just they are just renting out the space on the server, and everybody's using it. Right? It's a very nice business model, right? So yeah, data is everything.
So, so for a guy like me with very little brain capacity, we, I go to my Gemini because we're really tight. Me and Gemini are really close. And I asked Gemini a question. And I think this is what fascinates so many people. Even in the old Google or the old search from 10 years ago, you'd type something in and very quickly you'd get a response.
Hmm.
With AI now, you type something in and you get this incredible dissertation of information, right? So I mean, I always think to myself, where did you go get that in 1 second? That just boggles the mind. So when I think of a data center, is it just a massive library of information that it goes up, it goes to the bookshelf, it pulls it off, it reads the book, and it gets it to you, but it does this in 1 second, or like the Coke machine that goes up, moves over, slides, grabs a Coke, and drops it down. I mean, is that what these data centers are? Just big libraries?
Yeah, they are. You got it absolutely right. Data center is nothing but the libraries. Like they just store everything, all the data in on their server. The algorithm is the brain. So when you said if I type something and I get a result within a seconds, all this work is done by the algorithms. That's what I said. Like once these guys found out what algorithm works the best, that's the main thing, right? Algorithm is the brain. The data center is just the data libraries, as you mentioned. Algorithm is the main thing who's actually doing the main work.
Because without the algorithm, it doesn't know where to go get the data or doesn't
Oh yeah,
access the
yeah.
data,
That's
right?
that's it's
That
it's basically algorithm is like the programming or the sentences. It's kind of a how can I say it in normal language? It's kind of see. I can give you one example. Like we have a flow chart, right? Just like if I enter into the store, whether I want to whether I want to go inside the store or not. Yes, no. Depending on your yes or no decision, we have a different paths. Okay. If when after going inside the store, whether you want to buy a grocery or you want to buy the clothes, um, we have a different directions, right? So basically, this flowchart kind of a thing, the decision making thing, is nothing but the algorithms. These are the rules they make, and all this yes and no kind of a questions, they give you the answer. Like if you think of that, like if we start with this arrow, and we have so many children arrows under that, but if you decide yes and you go on this side, whatever lies onto the no side, it automatically eliminated, right? Here you just process the 50%, you just processing only the 50% of the data, not the 100%. So basically what I'm saying is algorithm nothing but the flow chart kind of a thing, whether you decide yes no kind of a thing, make the decisions. And uh, um, I'm just giving you high level answer,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
all going everywhere, but uh,
Uh, but it helps
as I
explain
say,
it in
I'm
a
not a very
way that
good.
makes sense.
I'm not a very good non-technical person. I would say every time I try to explain everything, I always try to go into the technical part, and uh, this is how.
Well, see,
So
that's why we're great partners, you and I, see, because I'm completely not technical. So I'll just go back to the Velociraptors and you could do the technical part. Um, but data and storage are kind of different. And what I mean by that for my question, because I think about this all the time, like I'm always amazed at Facebook holding a quadrillion photographs and videos and different things somewhere. They're storing it. But data, center is actually different. Like, no one's going into Facebook storage to steal data, or are they? Or is that where they're building these big data centers? Like, where do they get the
Yeah.
data from? But is storage and data different?
No, 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 same. Actually, the data center is actually the place where the data data gets stored. All these data center, they are storing the data. That's why they call data centers. They are the data storage machines. It's like a go down or a big place where you just store the data. That's the data center. And when you're giving the example of the Facebook, yeah, actually the all the photographs and everything is stored inside the data center. And the algorithm is the one which decide what to show onto the front end side of your website. When you log into the system, algorithm decides what to pull from exactly what data center, because we have so many data centers, and even the data center has the backup data centers. If anything happened to that particular area, earthquake or flood or something like that, we will lose the data. They can't afford that, so they have a data set backups of the data centers too. So yeah, data center is nothing but the place where we actually store the data.
Incredible. It's incredible. So now they come to you and they say, Bhaskar, I got this big ass data center full of tons of important stuff. Everyone's trying to get at this stuff. So I'm hiring you to protect it. You're my security guard. You're standing outside the gate with a big dog
Mhm.
and a machine gun, and you're trying to keep people out of my data center. Is that part of what you do?
It's a part of my job, yes.
Yeah. But most of it's
Yeah,
not
right
just
now my
protecting
focus
the
is on
data.
that because we already have a
Yeah.
website up. So basically, when I started with this existing company, I'm working with this company for 10 years now. So when I started this company, I started creating the website from the scratch. And I was the only person who is working for this organization at that time. As I said, my existing company is not the IT company. They are realtors, Home Depot, Lowe's. These are their big clients. So my first task was to actually build the website. They want something like a front end where they can see what they have, like a data wise. They have so much data, but they need something to see that data, right? And these people, the sales guys, they want to see what product we have, and how much the price wise, how much they negotiate and everything. So basically, they want a website. So I started my career create with this company to create the web application. Then of course we try to improvise it. We try to right now what I'm doing is we already have the website up, and my job right now mainly focused is how we can introduce the AI to secure our website. Whatever the web application I created, I have to secure it from the other people, right? Other companies or other people, they also want to get into our system, try to find out the exact margin, how much we are getting, and what is the exact price of the product we are selling. So that kind of data we are storing. So my job is to make sure that doesn't happen.
How many I would imagine this is a massive segment of the industry. I'd imagine that cybersecurity is something, I mean, let's put it this way. If I'm Amazon and my lifeline is AWS and making sure that this runs properly because it runs so much. I mean, not just Amazon, it runs the NFL. I mean, it runs so many different things. I would imagine I'm going to spend a lot of money on cybersecurity.
Yep, yep. Because
So you're
that's
in a good business,
see,
my friend.
yes, maybe. So if you have a big house, okay, I'll give you one example. If you have a big house and you have so many fancy things inside, you can spend how whatever money, like I have new bar or anything like that. I have nice flooring and everything. But if the locks of your doors is not proper, anybody can get inside. It can get stolen anytime, right? So you have to spend money on the locks as well. You have to make sure whatever the doors you are installing are strong enough, and whatever the locking mechanism or all the cameras and everything, you need to spend money on that too. Otherwise, whatever you have inside your home, that can that can get stolen, and nobody will able to, nobody's will uh, you know um, store anything inside your house.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
We're
it's a very
keeping the
bad
Velo
example. Oh, it
we're
is.
keeping the we're keeping the Velociraptors out of my house. But I think of Elon Musk, right?
Mhm,
I went down the rabbit hole of his security detail. Obviously, it's you can't know exactly his security detail, but I mean, it's like he started out with like one big dude behind him all the time, right? And then he got a couple more guys and a couple more guys, and now I think he's got like a massive security detail, like almost like the president of the United States, right? And spends like $50 million a year on
mhm,
his personal security. So you figure if you're gonna spend that much to secure your own safety as a person, imagine what you would have to spend to secure a multi-trillion dollar database, right? And
mhm.
and when you think about the implications of it not being safe, right? I mean, we hear about these hacks all the time. Like I'll get a stupid notice from my bank. Oh man, we were hacked. Everything's been stolen. You have nothing left. But to make it up to you, we're going to give you a 2-year subscription to a credit counseling company.
That will
Right?
not
And
help, right? Nobody
you're
cares
like,
about
dude,
the free subscription if your data main monies get stolen, right? So yeah.
right? It's crazy. So when we and we're almost up on here, and I'll let you go in a minute. So when it comes to cybersecurity, how are they securing these banks? Is it a similar thing to the databases? I mean, because let's be honest, everything's people take a picture of a
Correct.
check and send it to as a deposit. I just can't do that yet. But I mean, really, we're just wide open, leaving ourselves wide open on all this stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, they have a similar concept. Cybersecurity is everything right now. Everything is on the internet. Anybody can access anybody's data. So our main focus and main job is how we can make it more secure. And all the data centers, they have their own teams. We it's we If your data is so much important to you, you have to have more layers of security on it. Only one layer or two layers of security will not be sufficient, depending on what kind of a data you're storing or what kind of a data you're protecting. The number of security layers you need to have is different.
I have so many layers of security on my laptop, I can't even use it anymore. It won't let me do anything. I'm like, dude, it's me. I swear to God, I have to put a blood sample on my laptop. I have to cut my finger and put it on my laptop to get in it. I don't know.
Actually,
You
this is one of the main discussion point when we are using the AI in a cybersecurity. When we try to have these kind of layers, we also have to make sure, like the people like me, the cybersecurity, the security team, they should able to do their work without much of a hassle. Like means whatever the cybersecurity or whatever the layers of security you have, they should be kind of invisible for the people who actually need to work on those systems. That is also very important. If I have to log into 10 different systems with 10 different username and password, it's very difficult for me to do my job, right? So we have to make sure the people who actually want to do their job, they should be not prevented. Only the people who are try to get access, like they just want to hack the system, only those people needs to be prevented, not the people who actually want to do their job.
so who's winning? Who's winning? Are we able to keep because of Bhaskar? Are we able to keep ahead of the bad guys? Or are they just getting smarter and tougher all the time?
It's kind of a cycle, every time we design something, they will find a weak point, we'll fix it, we try to improvise more. But these guys are smart, like means it's like how can I say it, they have to be lucky only one time, we have to lucky every time.
That's exactly a perfect way to put it. I mean, my son works a lot with the Secret Service. He's K9, runs
Yeah.
K9 out at Andrews Air Force Base, where the president comes in and out of, and He does a lot with the Secret Service, and that's what they say. They say, we have to be lucky. We have to get lucky every time.
every time.
The bad guy only has to get lucky once,
One
and
time.
it's
Yeah.
just a constant battle of, you get that guy in the hoodie in his mom's basement. He gets lucky that one time, and he takes out the whole electric grid, right? And he's like,
Right.
"Woohoo!" And then he says, "Oh crap! I just shut down my own computer. I can't do anything." Like, "You idiot." Well, Bhaskar, you've been wonderful. You've been awesome. You've
Thank
made,
you.
a very little man feel like he learned something, and I appreciate that. But I lied to you earlier because I said I only had one question, but I lied. I had the what if you could question. But I always finish the podcast with one last question. And I always ask my guests, I say, Bhaskar, if there's something that really means something to you about your business, your company, your history, how you grew up, if there's something that just means something to you, a saying, something that you'd like to share with us or leave with us before we sign off here, what would that one last thought be for us?
Okay. See, actually, the thing is, I um, whatever I'm doing right now, that excites me. That's why I'm in this field. I am one of the lucky people who are doing what they really want to do it. I see many people. So I feel myself very lucky. What I'm doing is something what I actually want to do. And uh, and uh, I can give I want to give the same advice to the um, future people professionals who want to do the career with the AI and cybersecurity is stay strong with the fundamentals like networking, operating system, cloud, and software engineering. Then layer the AI knowledge on the top of that. The future belongs to the professionals who understand both security problems and how AI systems are built. And most importantly, stay curious. This field rewards the people who keep learning.
I love that. Stay curious. And that's why I do this. I do this because I'm so curious about so many things. And I find this fascinating. And I was like, so excited that you agreed to come on here and walk us through this. People are going to hear this and they're going to want more information. They're going to
Mm.
find you fascinating like I did. So, where can people find you? Do you have a website? Are you online? Where can people find you to get more information about you and your company?
So basically, right now, I don't have my own personal website. You can reach me through my LinkedIn profile. I'm very active person on my LinkedIn. So if you want to talk about whatever I do, you can reach me through my LinkedIn profile. And thank you so much, Gary, for this opportunity and to able to reach out through you to so many people, to your audience. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're welcome, my friend. It's been wonderful. It's been fascinating. I
Mhm.
did go and follow you on LinkedIn. So we're connected on LinkedIn, and everyone's got to go to LinkedIn because, guys, you just had a blessing of a few moments with Bhaskar Swant, seasoned AI architect and cybersecurity innovator. Fascinating guy. Love your attitude. Stay curious and stay safe out there, guys. And go look for LinkedIn for Bhaskar. All right, my friends. It's been fun. Thank you so much, buddy. I'll see you soon. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. See ya.